what I would consider one of the most invaluable tools. And I want to reiterate, I cannot see the target. Gentlemen, the one lady who's gonna see this, and who can forget, but the people who don't follow me on Instagram, which hopefully is nobody. Hopefully all of you guys are following me on Instagram, but if you aren't, go ahead, click the link down below and check out my Instagram. I don't just post archery stuff. There's a little bit of firearm stuff. There's a little bit of just personal, life stuff, but I want you guys along every step of the way because I appreciate you. So check out my Instagram and let's keep it moving. All right, short, sweet, and to the point. I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy in this video. Anytime that I have a chance to kind of deep dive into how your brain works, deep dive into like different training methods, different training tactics, and just kind of little tips and tricks that I might not have just learned on the archery side of things, but on the firearm side of things, on the military side of things, I really like to get nerdy about it. I'm even gonna bring out some Vietnam War knowledge on you guys, so stick around to check that out, but let's get right into the video. So a couple weeks ago at the time of you watching this, I released a budget versus flagship bow shoot down video, and I had a couple questions come through in the comments on that, which if you haven't seen that video, go ahead, check it out. But one of the main questions I got in the comments is, why did I have tape over my sights on both of my bows? If you go back and look at that, I had masking tape over both of the sights on my bows, and I just had people asking why. Now, I don't have tape over my sight right now, but if I did, it would look something like this, just like that. Just real simple, little piece of masking tape over the scope housing. And I will tell you, in my experience, these two little pieces of tape over the scope housing, if you have your shot process down and you want to improve your shot and take it to the next level, those two little pieces of tape are some of the most invaluable training tools that I can think of when it comes to the archery space. And it's not a tactic that's talked about too much. So what does it do? Really, what it does is it forces your brain to work the way that it should, where you are taking your dominant eye, which is looking through the peep sight and looking through the scope housing, and effectively limiting it to the scope housing itself, meaning that obviously since there's tape on the front side of the scope housing, you're only able to see from the peep sight to the pins into the scope housing. That's it. You cannot see the target with your dominant eye. Now, what that's doing is it's making you shoot with both eyes open. I am a huge proponent of shooting with both eyes open. If you shoot with your non-dominant eye, so you have to keep your dominant eye closed, I think you're doing it wrong. I'm just gonna be totally honest with that. I still love you, but I just think you're doing it wrong. So keeping your non-dominant eye open is going to effectively fill in that image for you. And it's really hard to describe and to visualize and to display it on video. I'll try to do that with like an overlay of two pictures and like get the opacity weird on both of them. So if you see that on the video, good job, Josh, when you're editing, but I'm really just gonna try to describe it right now. But you're effectively forcing your non-dominant eye to fill in the rest of that picture for you. So you have a complete image of the target, and your dominant eye is still looking at the pins. So when your brain puts those two images together from your dominant eye and your non-dominant eye, those pins are still gonna be projected onto the target. Since your non-dominant eye sees the target and your dominant eye sees the pins, but you can't see the target with your dominant eye, your brain's gonna fill that together and allow the pins to appear over the target, which in all reality, they are, because you're aiming at the target, you're aiming with your bow, with your pins, you're lined up in the same way. You're just forcing your non-dominant eye to use that image to project your pins where the target is. It sounds very complicated. It sounds like I'm kind of talking crazy right now, but this is a well-known tactic and a utilized tactic in the firearm space. If you've ever taken like a red dot class for a handgun or a rifle, and they've just thrown a piece of gaffer's tape over the front of your red dot, it's doing the same thing. It's forcing you to use both eyes. It's forcing you to shoot with both eyes open. And it's a really good training tool in the firearm space. I've never really seen this done in the archery space, which is why I want to make this video on it. And the idea behind this and the method of aiming behind this actually tracks back to around the Vietnam War era. This is where that history lesson comes into play. The very, very early red dots, I'll try to find a picture of them, for like rifles and stuff, they didn't have a open front on the actual red dot. It was effectively a tube with a fiber optic, really similar to like an archery sight nowadays, but the front was just covered. Effectively just a tube with a dot in the middle that you aimed with your dominant eye, and then your non-dominant eye filled in the picture. That was a very, very crude, very early on version of a red dot, but it worked. I know you guys didn't see that when you played Black Ops 1, but trust me, it was a thing, I promise you. Now, this is really strictly something that I just use for training. I've been doing it a lot recently since I went 2 weeks without shooting my bow for a little bit. So it's nice just to get back in the groove of things, get back in those aiming patterns and use both of your eyes when you're aiming. But I definitely would take this off if you're planning on going hunting, or if you're planning on, shooting in a competition or shooting against buddies, or really doing anything other than working on fundamentals. Just because while you can still see the target, it gets a little claustrophobic, but it's very effective, and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and actually show you guys, because I can understand the skepticism. Anytime I've described it to somebody, I always get those funny looks. People kind of think I'm crazy, which is kind of true, but not with this. So let's go ahead and show you that. I'll do a quick 5-arrow group at 40 yards with tape on my sight, and then a 5-arrow group at 40 yards with tape off of my sight. We'll compare them, and then we'll cap off the video. Okay, real simple. I got the tape over the front sight. You guys can see it the whole time. Let's go ahead and shoot 5 arrows, and we'll go down, check them out. Last arrow at 40 yards here. All right, let's go check it out. And while I'm walking down to the target here, guys, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for commenting on my videos. And if that's not you, and you are not subscribed to the channel, or you don't really take time to like the videos or comment on them, or maybe this is my first video that you've seen from me, I would really appreciate it if you took the time to subscribe, took the time to engage. It means a lot to me. It's a good indicator of what you guys like, so I can bring you guys better content. But at the same time, I think that we have a pretty good community on this channel. We have a lot of familiar faces in the comment section every video that I drop, and I really appreciate it. So if you guys want to be a part of that community, if you guys do want to support the channel, do all of the good YouTube things, it would mean a lot to me. I appreciate it. Let's get back into the video. Let's show you my group at 40. Okay, 40 yards, tape over the sight. I cannot see the target with my dominant eye. Drum roll, please. Let's check out the arrows. That is gonna be my group right there. So I was aiming at this orange dot here. You see a couple of them hit a little high. I've kind of found that when I do this, your bias of where you're actually aiming really comes out. So, maybe if you have a little bit too much peep pressure and you're aiming to the left or the right, you will generally hit in that direction. So it's a really good tool also if you just can't figure out what's wrong with your shot, using that, and you discover some things that you don't normally discover. So I pretty consistently shoot high when I put tape over my sight, and I think that's something to do with my form, but it is possible. As you guys can see, 40 yards, tape over the sight, you definitely can shoot that way. All right, 5-arrow group. This time we're gonna go ahead and take the tape off. So this is just a normal 40-yard 5-arrow group. We'll just go ahead and shoot this real quick, just to show you that I can shoot 40 yards with tape not on my sight. So let's get some arrows downrange. Let's go check them out. Alrighty. And there is the 40-yard group with the arrows that were shot with me being able to actually see through my sight. Again, still aiming at the orange dot, and that's the group there. So there it is for you guys. Probably my most valuable training tool or tactic that I use in the off season, all wrapped up in a bow tie in one video for you guys to try, for you guys to see how you like it, and for you guys to let me know what you think about it. Go ahead, leave a comment down below if you guys try this out, what you think about it, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you just want to keep shooting with your non-dominant eye so you don't want to try it, and just give me feedback. I really appreciate it. And of course, at the end of the day, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and leave a like down below if you did. If you want to stick around and see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. And at the end of it all, I hope you guys have an absolutely blessed day. We'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one.